So, what caused the stay in the psych ward was because I had forgotten to take a antidepressant during my trip to Paris, which caused a manic episode, and I ended up going to a hospital in Paris and stayed there for 30 days. The common day-to-day life in the psych ward was really all the same. I would get up, eat hospital food, go to the living room to watch TV, um, get my meds, and then go to sleep. However, the first 3 days I was at the psych ward in Paris, it was not like that. I had to stay in my white room, chained down to a bed, and didn't get to do anything. However, in Florida, they let me roam around, talk to other patients, and do activities such as playing basketball, playing board games, writing letters to your family. And we even once played a Wii game in the living room. The length of stay I did was quite remarkable. I thought I was only going to be there for 30 days in each hospital, but all these hospitals combined, all three of them were exactly 1 year. Well, in order to fix me, the doctors in Paris were only giving me meds every day, and none of it was working because obviously I was a Jane Doe, which means that no one knows who I was, what my medical records were, what I'm allergic to, what is good for me, nothing. So the pills really were not helping. Instead, they were making it worse. Now in Florida, they did have my information, so they were able to help better, but still nothing was working. So our last option was to go to Orlando to a very prestige hospital, and they did an ECT on me, which is an electrical compulsive therapy procedure where they put wires in my brain and rewire it so that I can start again with meds and find one that actually works. Also, the hospital in Daytona, to help fix me, they would do a little bit of practices of mental health practices. So that helped try to shape me back to a normal person. So I did not notice that my personality changed the first time I came back home. Because of how many meds I was taking, I became what they call a vegetable, which is when someone completely turns unrecognizable and they can't process things anymore because they're just so drugged up. And when I was finally recovering, I did change personality drastically. I was very depressed, at one point, maybe even suicidal. And I was just not the same Madison that I've always been in the past. Luckily, nowadays, I'm very happy. I have lots of friends. I'm doing okay in school. My family and I are close, and everything is way better than it was 3 years ago. The main experience that molded me is finding out that my mom dropped everything that she did at that moment and went to rescue me at Paris. Before the trip, me and my mom were not close. We constantly fought with each other and we were basically enemies. But after this whole situation happened to me, we became closer, and I can finally say that my mom is like a friend to me. Another thing that molded me was the fact that I realized someone's life can change in an instant. I would have never thought that I would go to a psych ward or hospital in general for more than 30 days. And this really opened my eyes to understand like life is always changing.